you're part of the Benjamin Cardozo fan club, do not come for me here. This little thing right here, id, is the period italicized. It's when you don't know what to say, so you decide to sprinkle in a policy argument. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madison. It is nice to meet you. Welcome to another episode of vLAWgmas, a video every day at 8 a.m. until Christmas. Today is a long-awaited sequel. Long-awaited. It has been months in the making. This is Law School Struggles Part 2. I did a video back in September, October maybe, about law school struggles. Right here, if you want to check that out, go ahead. And since then, I've been compiling some more law school struggles to do a part 2. And I'll probably do a part 3. It's just so easy. Whenever something happens and I'm thinking that is definitely a law school problem, I jot it down in my notes. And once I have a substantial amount, we can do another part. Before we get into all of the law school struggles, I am running a giveaway right now on these lovely items right here. If you'd like to enter, all you need to do is 1, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. Number 2, follow me on Instagram at madison.rector. And number 3, comment on this photo right here, any Christmassy emoji or anything Christmassy in general. We're going to get into the law school struggles. The first ultimate law school struggle is trying to determine whether the period in id is italicized or not. I have spent so much time in my short law school career, probably minutes I have wasted trying to determine whether that stupid period is italicized or not. Okay, it's definitely italicized. Maybe, did I gotta highlight this. I can't tell. What? I need to get a magnifying glass. Why does it matter if the period is italicized? Can we please go over this? I know it's the little blue book rules or whatever, but this has caused me so much stress. Why am I stressing over whether my period is italicized or not? I don't know, but it's definitely a law school struggle if I've ever seen one. This little thing right here, id, is the period italicized. The world may never know. And I know what you're thinking, Madison, just highlight it and it'll tell you whether it's italicized or not. I don't do that. And I know the solution is so simple, but I don't do it. I don't. I have to look at it and think to myself, is this italicized or not? In case you were wondering, that period was italicized. The next law school struggle is bouncing between taking a very strong position or no position at all during a cold call. So Madison, what did you think about this case? Well, I really didn't like this case. I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the reasoning. I wasn't a fan of any of it. I actually really didn't like this case. Or, Madison, did you like this opinion? Well, you know, I'm kind of having a difficult time with this one because I can see where the court is coming from in their rationale. However, personally, I don't think I'm a fan, but I think I'm kind of in the middle here. I can't really decide whether I like it or not. There are 2 ways to go about a cold call. You take a very strong position and you just say, I don't like it, or I love it, or you teeter-totter. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Either way, you're gonna get grilled by the professor, but you know, those are 2 strategies. You have to be very quick on your feet when it comes to cold calls. Sometimes you sound like the most wishy-washy human being on the planet, because that's just how it is. That's law school for you. That is what they are priming us to do in our day-to-day lives as attorneys, is never give a straightforward answer about literally anything. Another law school struggle is having beef with a Supreme Court justice or just a justice in general who has been dead for about 100 years. I'm looking at you, Benjamin Cardozo, and I'm also looking at you, learned hand. Why have you caused me this much pain? Why do I have personal beef with you even 100 years later? I swear, this one's per Cardozo especially. A lot of professors love this man. They talk about this man all the time. This man got brought up multiple times during the whole semester in every single class. If you're part of the Benjamin Cardozo fan club, do not come for me here. However, this man makes things 1,000 times more complicated than things need to be 150% of the time. These are facts. My professor will be going through a case and will be like, you won't believe what Ben's about to do here, because sometimes he just does things and we're like, is this man allowed to do this? Does he have this power? Benjamin, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're great. I'm sure you were great, but I have some very serious issues with some of your opinions and they make absolutely no sense to me. So whenever I'm reading a case and I see that it's a Cardozo opinion, I buckle up. I'm ready to go. I know I'm gonna need some popcorn because it's entertainment, because you never know what he's gonna do. And B, I'm gonna need to read it at least 100 times. Thank you, Ben. Here we have another cold call struggle. Now this is great. And this is something that in law school people do all the time. It's when you don't know what to say, so you decide to sprinkle in a policy argument. It's in the interest of public policy. I love when people do this during cold calls because you know that's when they have no idea what else to say and it sounds really smart. Policy is something, what does policy mean? I mean, it could mean really whatever you want it to mean. In the interest of public policy. That's literally, it's the best scapegoat to sound like you know what you're talking about when at the same time you have absolutely no idea what you're saying. Tell me what you think the implications of this decision might be. Although the reasoning for the decision seems sound, I would have to say, well, in the interest of public policy, maybe we should rethink this a little bit. And what do you mean by the words public policy in the answer that you just stated? What does public policy mean? Well, I mean, who's to say? It could really mean whatever we want it to mean. In the interest of public policy, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Maybe it could create a slippery slope of sorts, lots of lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits, litigation. More legal terms inserted here. But yes, the public policy argument is an argument that is always the last resort for law students when they have no idea what else to say. This one might be specific to me. I don't know. I'm gonna need you law students to weigh in on this one. At the beginning of the semester, I was extremely well read. I knew a lot of words, very expansive vocabulary. I spoke well. And I feel like as the weeks went on, I became less and less literate. And I'm not even kidding. My sentences were shorter and made less sense. My brain would search for a word for about 150 minutes before it found it. I just became less and less literate. This was my main concern going into finals is how am I gonna write a 3-hour exam when I feel like I don't know English very much anymore? And maybe that's a combination of just the law in general. A lot of the times judges write in a way that's not very intuitive and it kind of makes you forget English a little bit. That on top of all the reading and writing you're doing for classes, I honestly feel like I'm a worse reader than I was when I started law school. And maybe that's just a combination of a bunch of things, burnout, class load, all that stuff. But I really feel like, truly, I read worse now than when I started law school. My reading skills and my eyesight have just throw them in the trash ever since law school started. 20/20 vision pre-law school here. Now, one semester later, I have noticed a significant decrease in my vision. That's another law school struggle that I don't have time to get into because I could complain about my loss of eyesight for about 30 minutes. But yeah, definitely lost my literacy and lost my sense of sight. This next struggle is specifically related to Zoom School of Law, and I don't know how things will be whenever we are back in person because the ability to turn on and off your camera has been my saving grace during law school. The amount of times I've had to turn off my camera in class because somebody says something that is just outrageous is insane. I really wish I would have tallied them up because it would have been more than 20 or 30 times. When somebody says something ridiculous, the ability to just turn off your camera and just die laughing for a minute is unmatched. One torts class, I'm not kidding, I turned my camera off 6 times. Because I just couldn't with these people. They were making me laugh so hard. And this is what I'm wondering, how am I going to cope with this whenever we are in person? Because I can't just laugh out loud for a solid 4 minutes of the class. I just can't do it. The ability to turn off your camera is a great feature that Zoom has, and I made use of it so much. Sometimes it is just so difficult to keep a straight face, especially. And it's even funnier when somebody says something and you're looking at the gallery mode on Zoom and you can see all the people like looking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just said that, and they're just about to laugh. You just turn the camera off and boom, you're good to go. It's even funnier when you see somebody on gallery mode look like they're about to laugh and then their camera goes off for like 30 seconds and then they come back onto the camera and they're completely composed again. That is exactly what I have had to do at least 30 times throughout the semester, and it is so funny. But it is definitely a struggle, for sure. And I don't know how I'm gonna be able to cope with that when classes are back in person, but people say the darndest things, let me tell you, they really do. Okay, I have briefly talked about this one in my other videos, but not being able to watch or do anything without thinking about the law is an ultimate law school struggle that will plague us for the rest of our lives. I can't even watch a simple episode of The Office without thinking about the law. I can't. You know how many torts take place in the office? You know how many criminal acts? After I take criminal next semester, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch The Office and see all the crimes that are committed there. Honestly, it makes things so difficult because your brain never turns off. It is a very weird phenomenon. And yeah, it's so strange that I've only been in law school for 3-4 months and my whole mindset has shifted, and all I do whenever I see anything is look for the legal issues that are present. And all of you future law students, that will be your life as well one day. It's inevitable. It truly is inevitable. You will be finding the little legal problems in everything you do. Every corner of your life will have at least a dozen legal problems that you're gonna have to deal with, or at least you'll be aware that they are there. And finally is the best phrase in the world. It's in my notes somewhere. I said this about 100 times while studying with people this semester, because you know when you have something in your notes, but you just have pages and pages and pages and pages of notes. Case in point, it's in my notes somewhere. Let me just find it for you. It's gonna take a few minutes, but I know I have that phrase that you're looking for, that case that you can't think of. I know it's in here somewhere. You just gotta give me about a year to find it. And some may say, Madison, you need better organization. You're probably not that organized if you have to go sifting through this many papers to find what you're looking for. There's just too much material. There is so much material in these law school classes, but I will tell you, it's in my notes somewhere, and if you give me enough time, I promise you I will find it. All right, everyone, so that is all for Law School Struggles Part 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. It means so much to me when you subscribe. And I will talk to you all tomorrow at 8 a.m. for another episode of vLAWgmas. Bye, guys.